You're live in UTV, please do not swear.
Bartender have I can't believe I said this, but Sinn Féin might be removed from the debate.
Get someone else to do his voice.
Like your word, sing, please.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. I'm dressing a bit more casual today because Gemma is actually going to be kind of chairing this debate and fielding the questions. So I don't think we have any announcements, apart from the fact that this is the penultimate debate of the year. And I would like to invite Robbie to read the minutes from last week. Two wee bit more quiet. Thank you very much.
Good evening, one and all. I hope you're all well. The 15th Ordinary Meeting of the Literary and Scientific Society took place in the Senate Room on the 28th of April and was attended by 50 members. Private members' business were heard from Mr. Johnny Finlay, who wished to congratulate Miss Gemma Cannon on her new bag, which, despite a brief tangent concerning the state of current consumer capitalism, passed unanimously. After Mr. Rogers wished the House a happy Ed Balls Day, President Harris and Chair for the evening, Ms. Tara Boyaga, announced the evening's motion. This House withdraw Mohammed. Opening for the proposition was Mr. Mohammed Musa, who decided to open with some guaranteed crowd pleasers. Mr. Musa's comments on Asians, black people, the clinically obese, the entire Muslim population, women, the Irish famine, and Adolf Hitler do not represent the views of our society. He did, however, state that none of his statements regarding the aforementioned groups had incited violence or hatred, and derided the idea of a self-imposed moral arbiter to judge what is deemed to be unacceptable discourse. He claimed that we have the right to challenge the free speech of others with our own, and not limit free speech as a whole. He concluded by saying that it was a disgrace that we didn't even have to believe in a religion for it to limit us. Opening for the opposition was Dr. Water Sapient, Mr. Kevin Van Blanken. He claimed that his side agreed with the proposition, free speech is great and we should protect it. However, with great power comes great responsibility. He claimed that the opposition weren't proposing legal bans upon free speech, but rather that this House represents a rational human being who would not draw the profit due to a sense of respect for the fellow man. He claimed that the way to achieve true free speech and discourse was not through inflammatory cartoons and disingenuous remarks, but through formal debate and reasoning. Speaking secondly for the proposition, Mr. Kieran Gallagher. He stated that not joining Mohammed would be creating a rod for our own backs. He claimed that eventually censorship will always fall in upon itself, that those who appeal for censorship will inevitably be unable to express an opinion which is deemed unpopular by others. He concluded by asking where we discovered the idea that drawing the prophet was offensive, and accused the opposition of generalising Islam as a whole. Continuing with the opposition, Ms. Emily Walker. She claimed that the proposition was living in a comic book world, and her argument was not an attack on free speech. Rather, the proposition were arguing for a right to offend through inflammatory and racist actions under the guise of freedom of expression. She claimed that the proposition were out to deliberately cause distress and offend 1.6 million people due to their inner hatred of Muslims, claiming that they were putting a plaster on a wound and then stabbing it. Concluding the proposition was Mr. Richie Gallagher, who accused the opposition of homogenising Islam into a group of people who were so insecure about their religion that a depiction of their prophet would lead them into censoring others. He asked the House what precedent this would set. Soon we would have no such thing as freedom of the press, and that the perpetuation of this taboo would mean symbols like Muhammad would become totally immune to criticism. Concluding with the opposition and so the debate was Dr. Craig Miller. Mr. Miller claimed that we should go down the route of not trying to offend. Sorry, that's just hot. He claimed that this was a rights versus responsibility debate, and this is essential for people to at least consider the repercussions of exercising the right which they hold. He asserted that this revelling in causing offence wasn't getting us anywhere, and that we should accept the fact that we have to advance together as a society. Questions were heard from Mr. Johnny Finlay, Ryan Neal, Finn Stoneman, Finbar Rogers, Niall Doherty, and Gemma Cannon. A vote based on House opinion was taken, which read 11 ayes, 11 nays, and 6 abstentions. And finally, a casting vote based on speaking performance on the motion, this House withdraw Mohammed was taken, which read 7 ayes, 12 nays, and 10 abstentions. May I take the minutes as read?
Sorry, I'm all rapping. closing my eyes, I think I can't be through the heart.
Okay, so the format of tonight's debate is going to be as follows. I'm going to ask each of our representatives 5 questions. They'll have 90 seconds each and no more to answer said question. And then after those 5 questions, we will go on to some questions from the floor. Obviously, we can't really remove political polemic from this debate, seeing as it's an election debate, but please be polite of other people's views. So I'm going to ask from this end that each candidate stands up and introduces themselves and what party they're from, and then we'll move on to the first question.
Good evening. My name is Michael, and I'm representing the Democratic Unionist Party, the party that works so hard for Northern Ireland. Our politicians work 2 jobs. So I represent the biggest party in Stormont currently, and I will try and prove to you tonight what a good job we're doing.
My name is Ryan Neal. I'll be representing the Ulster Unionist Party. We don't really have any representatives, but I'm just glad to be here.
My name is Kieran Gallagher, and I am here to represent the Alliance Party for Northern Ireland, and I have no strong opinion one way or the other.
I am Jonathan Finlay, and I'm here to represent TUV, traditional unionist voice, and I cannot make the same guarantee.
Go about it, Concordia.
Sinn Féin are the only party who stand towards building an Ireland of equals across the whole island. From the slums of the north side of Dublin to the Afro-Caribbean community of Ballymurphy. And for that stand, we come from the people, by the people, but with them at a safe distance. Having left the stage, I will abstain for the foreseeable future of this debate.
Benbar, please sit down. Okay, next candidate.
As always, that's a tough one to follow. I'm Chris Spratt, and I'm here to represent the SDLP. It's a party with a long history of trying to bring rights to all men and some women.
Hello, I'm Owen. I'm here today representing the Green Party, which, as you all know, stands for Great Realistic Economic and Energy.
I thought we were the Green Party.
Okay, you ruined my joke. We stand for equal rights and free compost bins for everyone if you vote for me.
Okay, Mr. Rogers, if you don't sit back in your seat here, you're going to be excluded from the debate.
2 8-winders, Bamba, voice and
I would make the point that to have terrorists in this debate is itself a perversion of democracy.
I am not
Thank you,
have I
Mr.
ever been a
Finlay.
member of the Nolan Show audience.
Okay. Making a start. This evening, you refer to me as David Dimbleby. So, we will start from this end and progress down with each question. So, the first question is on the topic of education. Do you believe that we should pursue an integrated education system? Why/why not?
Well, I think the Democratic Unionist Party position has been somewhat clear about this. Well, we oppose the continuation of Catholic maintained schools. It is an appalling relic of Sinn Féin IRA sectarian agenda across the province, and those poor children are being poisoned with those awful esoteric Catholic ideas. That said, integrated schools means that we have to mix some people in communities, and I just don't think that some of our good communities in the heartlands of East Belfast are ready for perhaps some of the more rough around the ears children to come into our good Protestant schools. So I will say yes in principle, but with reservation.
Okay, next, Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan, Mr. Neal.
Yes, my party would hold a very similar view to the fear-mongering DUP. Yes, integration is probably the best way to root out that ever malignant menace of republicanism and the Catholic enclaves of ideas that we have from these sectarian schools. I believe that an integrated education is a good way to instill these proper unionist values for the sake of business, enterprise and Britishness.
What was the question?
Please pay attention, Alliance. Do you believe that we should pursue an integrated education system? Why/why not?
Well, the Alliance Party thinks that the state of our education system in Northern Ireland is what you might call at beige alert. I think it is in great danger, and at the same time, we shouldn't get too carried away about trying to solve this issue. There are many ways to solve it. I don't know what the answer is. And I think the TV should answer that.
Mr. Finlay.
Well, that would be the first time Alliance bothers to listen to the TUV position on things. Sorry for the slip. I tend to get nostalgic in times like this. Back in the day, when Sinn Féin IRA Commandant Katrina Ruan was in charge of education, we used to be able to make the subtle pun that Sinn Féin had been responsible for the ruination of education. We can no longer make such a pun, only to say that the current education minister is very dowdy. We oppose integrated education. We oppose shared education. We oppose education. It is no way to instill traditional unionism in the men and women, boys and girls. And no, I'm not going to mention those who don't identify in the binary of this country.
Thank you, Mr. Finlay. Mr. Rogers.
Well, there is quite clearly something wrong with the Northern Ireland education system when a significant proportion of the electorate vote DUP. And even worse, TV. I'm surprised those people can spell X. I would point out that those Sinn Féin IRA schools, or to give them their moniker by Woody Fraser, Pro-V training camps, do consistently perform. Do you mind? Do consistently.
I will not bow down in the face of terrorism, unlike some other parties on this.
Will you bow down in the face of an opponent?
Continue,
Thank you. Do our Pro-V training camps do consistently perform better than any orange, King Billy, whatever.
That's not insult to our culture.
Mr. Beales.
And also, I would point out our God is bigger than your God.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Sorry.
Mr. Spratt.
The SDLP is a party which very firmly believes in the development of
Mr. Rogers.
But just to make it clear, we're not against Catholic schools. In fact, we're very pro-Catholic schools, and we believe that even Catholic schools can become integrated schools.
Where was the white flag in '69, Sinn Féin IRA?
It was on the halls of the Northern Irish Civil Rights Association as they were being
And so we really have to say that the SDLP is trying to build together to a better Northern Ireland, because really, if there is to be a united Ireland, Northern Ireland has to work, and the SDLP is the only party capable of doing so.
I mean, I'm so sorry, but
Mr. Rogers.
It says so much the SBA are literally being talked over. But anyway, go on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rogers. I acknowledge your polite behaviour. I appreciate that. But I'm done now.
Green Party's heart. And as a party in which one of our core values is knowledge, we like to incorporate that with our views on equal opportunities. Diversity is very important for education and for young educational development. And as a man who is in fact 2/3 dyslexic, colourblind, and has an instep, if I had been sectioned as a young person to a different education system, I may not have become and blossomed into the person I am today. And I want to strive for everyone to have that equal right. So thank you.
Hashtag wheat-free, dairy-free FML.
Follow me on Instagram.
Right, thank you candidates for successfully achieving no conclusion on that question. Question 2. Should Stormont be doing more to protect wildlife / the natural environment? What can we do?
Well,
Mr. Beers.
thank you. Well, yes, I agree. We should be doing more to protect our wildlife and our natural resources. And that is exactly why I condemn the actions of distant Republicans in border areas, smuggling dangerous amounts of fuel and no doubt spilling it everywhere. I mean, it just beggars belief that these people can go around with disregard for humans and our wildlife. And after all, wildlife are God's beautiful creatures, and the Bible is the best basis, I think, to lead a government programme. So yes, I am completely in agreement with that statement. I think yes, Stormont will rightly so pursue an animal protection programme and stand by this Republican smuggling fuel. Thank
you. On that question, actually, I would like to bring up another point, and about the environment and about wildlife. Stormont can't do anything at all, so I think that's a moot point. Until we make it work, we can't really expect anything in that fashion. We walked out for a reason. We walked out because of its ineffectiveness and inability to make any changes whatsoever. So really, the environment is second to actually making Stormont work in the first place.
Thank you. Mr. Gallagher?
I think it's rather rich listening to the DUP talk about environmentalism. This is a party, ladies and gentlemen, remember, mostly believe that the world is somewhere around 6,000 years old, which of course it's not. And I think it's... What?! Fantastic rider just behind us, go into it sometime. Anyway, as I was saying, I think it is important that we look after our wildlife. God knows there isn't there's not much else that's particularly nice or pretty about this place. Belfast as a whole, and the rest of, and any other civilised part of Northern Ireland is fit for the Wicker Man sequels. And yes, as for the wildlife, actually, I think we should do something. It's good that we've brought the fans of the Northern Ireland football team back from endangerment, and now they fill up the Lisburn Road in their droves. Let's do another thing like that. Let's bring more near extinct species back.
Thank you for that very roundabout point, Mr. Finley.
Well, some might say traditional unionists are a near extinct species, but I think today the electorate has sent you a very resounding message that the answer is but.
Are you suggesting that you're irrelevant?
I would just like to make a point about the environmental despoliation and squander that has been perpetrated by this DUP IRA lobby. Complimentary sticks of celery for speakers on this debate.
Songs are not pens.
Complimentary sticks of celery while the European Union bleeds our fisheries dry, and that's not good for fisheries. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up for a traditional unionist.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
Sinn Féin have done the most of any party to protect and maintain the environment of Northern Ireland by standing in firm ground in Kilbrony Park with an armalite in one hand and a ballot box in the other to defend the rights of the Catholic population of Random.
And what about the rights of your
Mr.
victims?
Neil!
And me flushes and whatever else.
Where was the rights of the victims in 98, Mr. Neil? And you went into government with them!
And whatever else may live in the good Catholic trees of Kilbrony Forest. And also, we have long had, as part of our party policy, the policy of keeping Ireland tidy, throwing out the rubbish!
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Spratt.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I would like to remember the House and the members of this panel that the SDLP is one of the few parties with practical experience in government of protecting the environment through our control of the DSD and DOE. And we were one of the leading proponents and implementers of the most runaway successful policy in Northern Irish history, the 5p plastic bag tax. And really, we have obviously one of the strongest green records in government. So I'd like you to reflect on that.
Well, it's hard to top that. Who would top that, am I right?
Not for the first time.
Mr.
You are not right.
Okay, the sort of ringing phrase I want you to bring home today is environmental justice. So the Green Party stands for renewable energy and facilitating everyone with that. So we are, as government stipends to help people install solar energy, wind turbines on farms, things like that. The future is bright and it is very warm. Global warming. The best sort of way to tackle that is to utilise global warming itself to heat ourselves and provide energy. Also, I want Stormont to be waste-free. No carbon going in and no carbon going out, okay?
You heard that, Jim Alistair?
Yes, I hear what that is. But
given the human being...
Mr. Finley!
The driving home point here, though, of course, the obvious, vegans. So we're talking about environmental justice here. Vegans stand for don't kill your animals, animal rights, all of this. To feed 10 people with a beef burger, one cow dies.
Wrap it up, Mr. Mulholland.
To give one person who is a vegan an ear of corn, 50 animals die. Because, okay, they want more...
Definitely wrap it up.
More crops. Crops expansion. Animals that are burrowing in those fields are being killed. Animals that would have lived there.
Thank you, Mr. Mulholland. Question 3.
Vote
Question 3. Should we have cut the corporation tax to 12.5% or should it be returned to 20%?
Well, the UKIP has championed this cause for quite some time now, but I have to say Mr. Osborne, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, has been quite crafty and he is escaping our reasoning and our calls to reduce it because those crafty, dodgy ones with their NAMA deals in Dublin are taking away all the trade from Northern Ireland, which after all is by far the more trustworthy of the two provinces of this island, am I right? So yes, I would say the corporation tax needs to be reduced so that we can stop putting in so much money into the public sector. We all know there's a big public sector in Northern Ireland, and to be honest, we just can't afford it in government right now because we have to cut for benefits and stuff, and a party that loses its voters, but I'm not sure. And I want to round us off by saying that I think it was Foucault, or maybe it was George Bush, once said that big government is to Liberals what Glacial Tongue was to the Nazi Party.
Thank you, Mr. Beales. Mr. Neil.
Well, it is the attitude of my party that we should absolutely slash those rates. We need to encourage business. Okay. It is the sensible choice. And for far too long, that foreign nation down the south has been beating us to it, beating us to the punch.
Do you mean Europe?
Quiet you. Beating us to the punch. I think the Tory party policies are very much what we need to emulate here. We need to make Stormont function very much like Westminster functions. We need to become closer to our British allies across the seas. And ultimately, corporation tax is too high to really invest much in the economy here. And that's really all we have to say. It is a sensible choice.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Mr. Gallagher?
Usually I would have said that 12.5 is too low and 20 was too high. And if we just met in the middle with 16.25, that would be the right way to do it. But unfortunately, we're dealing with a situation where we won't be getting a lot of corporations into this country because our third level education system is in tatters. We have a huge gap in resources and finance, partially because Sinn Féin and SDLP got so whingy and insisted that we had to keep St Mary's open. Despite the fact that we have like 3 teacher training colleges, we have a surplus of teachers. We don't need that. Close them down. Queen's is a good school of education. That'll do. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, but we need to keep it down now because otherwise there's no incentive for them to come because the talent isn't here anymore. Thanks, DUP. Thanks, Sinn Féin.
Did they let her?
I disagree.
Thank you very much.
Plenty of talent to choose from. And
Mr. Neal, thank you.
Well, why aren't we investing?
Mr. Gallagher, thank you. Mr. Finn.
Well, I think it's a bit rich to hear from the party that brought the national flag down from our prime civic building about whatever you were talking about. But let me remind you that when TUV was founded, we were an unashamedly free trade, pro-market, pro-private sector party. But we nonetheless opposed the cut in corporation tax for absolutely no good reason. That policy stands. Anything good that comes of this policy isn't real, just like dinosaurs. And anything bad that comes from it, well, what do you expect when you have terrorists in government?
As we can all see, Mr. Miller has arrived. Mr. Roberts.
Sinn Féin's policy on this is clear. And a crisp Northern banknote to anyone who agrees with it.
You've got a few of those there, haven't
Mr. Rogers, I'm very currently unclear on your position. Can you please elaborate?
Yes, tell us about your position. Tell us about your past.
Mr. Finlay.
Our position was sticking out at a safe distance. We don't like to talk about it.
Thank you. Mr. Spratt.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. SDLP is a party which appreciates any efforts in trying to bring itself in line with sovereign economic policy and is more than willing to forego any socialist or labour morals to try and do so. But the SDLP...
Mr. Rogers!
The SDLP believes in a firmer and broader...
Mr. Rogers!
to our economic policy of a new manifesto and prioritising of our new emerging and value-added industries such as coding, tourism and encouraging SMEs to try and develop. Thank you very much.
Okay, settle down. Thank you, Mr. Roll. Mr. Roll.
Yes, SMEs are well good and all. But one thing I think every party has failed to acknowledge is facts. So in the past 5 years,
it was a fact that the imperial state
Mr. Rogers!
The public sector has grown by 10% in the UK. And within that, over 100 of those companies that have popped up are renewable energy companies. So obviously from a Green Party perspective, this is very advantageous and this looks very good. But by keeping that corporation tax cut, we are encouraging this green future. The future is green, the future will be bright, there will be more jobs and more healthier people. So I would urge for this to stay cut.
Thank you all parties for some lovely rhetoric there. Now moving on to our fourth question. Getting a little bit juicier here. What is your stance on abortion?
Well, whoever says that a woman has a right to choose was wrong. You simply cannot take something as sacrosanct and as precious as the human body and give someone the freedom to do what they want with it. An abortion is an affront to our Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ, to all good Protestant morals, to Northern Ireland. And although there may be cases of rape, there may be cases of fetal abnormality, whatever you want to call it, I still think if you're going to conceive, and maybe it wasn't so, non-consensual, maybe, God was smiling down on you and wanted you to have that baby, maybe you really kind of just, were a bit consensual. But no, I would say that the DUP's position is completely crystal clear on this. We will not, with impunity, allow women to murder our young.
Well, I regret asking that question. Mr. Neil.
Well, we're aware this is a very emotive issue, and with that in mind, we actually take a much more inclusive approach than, say, the DUP. We're very open to discussing this, and certainly it is something that needs to be discussed. However, that is not our focus. There are more important things to consider, and more important things to consider is the economy, is business, is increasing growth and making
This isn't really relevant, Mr. Neil.
But it is, because at the centre of why Stormont isn't working. Abortion comes second to making it work.
Thank you, Mr. Neil. Mr. Gallon.
Look, we in the Alliance Party consider this to be a issue of conscience. And even if we did have a strong policy on it, we're not the kind of party that actually makes our candidates follow those policies. We believe in a much more liberal approach to conscience. See, when a man and a woman love each other, and mistakes happen, and perhaps in those situations, maybe it is wrong if people haven't been careful enough. But if a man and a woman don't love each other, and I'm going to stop there.
Good idea, Mr. Gallagher. Good idea. Mr. Finley.
Well, in contrast to the very liberal position that has been set out by the DUP, TUV take a strong, traditional unionist stance on this. All of our MLAs vote against any change to the abortion laws. All of me. And unlike the DUP, we will not roll over and let the courts decide this matter. What do you think I am? A lawyer?
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
From Royal Avenue to the frickin' stars, you will not be able to find someone who has any idea when life starts. There is no point having that philosophical...
Thanks to the Sinn Féin IRA, we know when it ends.
You are fine! With innocent Catholics being aborted on the streets of Durham in 1972. But all we know for certain is that there is a fucking... by the way, I'm not actually
Mr. Rogers!
I'm not actually speaking as Sinn Féin at the moment. I'm just speaking as fucking treasure of the pro-choice society. All we know for certain is there's a fucking epidemic
as women are effectively made prisoners in their own bodies, but is shackled by their own circumstance. In the most vulnerable position of their lives, forced to go off to what is effectively a foreign imperial nation. That's the Sinn Féin concession. Just because the fat asses of Stormers won't get up just to do anything except shout at each other. No,
that's at least 2 fines.
I am Sinn Féin, I do not recognise your authority!
You were speaking as president of the Pro-Choice Society, 2 fines. Carry on.
I can't spell pro.
You can spell pro.
No.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Spratt.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers, for your help. The SDLP is a party filled with many strong individual women. For example, Claire Hanna.
She did do very well in the leadership contest.
She's a lovely woman. And I myself knew many women.
On that point, I very much doubt.
Mr. Neal!
My wife is a woman.
Some of my best women are women.
Some of my favourite girlfriends.
Be quiet, please, Mr. Rogers!
I'm very glad this question was asked. It's a very emotive, substantial debate. Even within the SDLP, our stance as a firmly and ardently pro-life party is constantly on constant revision. I mean, just the other day I was discussing with my local parish priest on the merits and lack thereof, very much emphasis on lack thereof. But the thing is that
Wrap it up,
we
please,
have
Mr.
to
Spratt.
keep in mind is we have to be very careful about what we say and to whom. Because if we say the wrong thing,
Thank you, Mr.
you
Spratt.
might not vote for us.
Mr. Mulholland.
I'm done now.
And I'll start. So, as you all know, the Green Party is very much pro-choice. We're all different people. We are here because we want diversity and we want that choice.
Abortion for trees.
There were several parties today who brought up religion as something to bring up to block abortion. I can tell you now, if men could get pregnant, abortion would be a sacrament. Let's be real. I would ask you all now if you were all for
Mr. Rogers!
Oh, yes. That's a good argument. But yes,
How do baby bad is
if I could ask you all, if you could all hypothetically think right now, if you lived in a world where you were forced to foster, if you did have children, you would put up a fight. You'd be like, no, I don't want to, because what? It should be a choice. And this is the Green Party stance on abortion. Go great. That's it.
Thank you, everyone. I do so love it when the 7 male leaders of the parties of Northern Ireland talk about abortion. 5th question. Would Northern Ireland benefit from remaining in the EU? Mr. Beals.
Absolutely not. I think our previous finance minister, Sammy Wilson, put it best. Getting out of the EU would help us get rid of those pesky ethnics. Furthermore, EU membership has done nothing but bring the scourge
Mr. Rogers.
European Court of Human Rights at Strasbourg over constantly lecturing us about things like human rights, like this supposed homosexual marriage, the decriminalisation of homosexuality. I mean, it beggars belief that a unionist, Jeffrey Dudgeon, could actually pervert himself to that level to go and seek European principles and lay in bed with his friends at Strasbourg and Brussels and defy Christian standards. And for that reason, I think leaving the European Union would bring Britain, the United Kingdom, back into its own sovereignty and, well, make sure that no one who speaks a foreign tongue or practices perhaps Roman Catholicism
Do you mean Irish?
can tell us what to do. Leave the EU.
Mr. Neal.
Well, on leaving the EU, I think the DUP and Sinn Féin should leave the bed and start working on making Stormont viable. But, moving on to the question. Certainly leaving the EU will probably be the best option. I mean, we're seeing an influx of immigrants these days, and, I know many Romanians, and I know many
I'm sure you do, Mr. Neal.
Muslims, and they're perfectly nice people.
I trust them to the shop for you.
They're brown, which, you can't help. But, certainly, they can do things rather very well. And they can benefit our economy. But, there is a very significant danger in letting these people enter unbridled. And I think having control over our own borders would absolutely be imperative, given the recent crisis. So that would be very much my party's view on this.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Mr. Gallagher.
I should inform the House I've recently decided to, I've had a change of heart and have decided to defect to UKIP. Partially because I've just realised during this debate just how lacking in substance and character the Alliance Party are. But anyway, as I said, UKIP have a very, very strong view of the European Union. We believe in an independent Britain. And we believe our sovereign should not be Angela Merkel, but should be the lady staring at us from down there. Not Mary Louise, but Elizabeth II just behind her. Yes. We do not need 75% plus of our laws being handed down to us from Brussels. We're perfectly capable of doing this. We've done it before. Long live the British Empire.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher.
Wait, no!
Mr. Finley.
Well, just
Mr. Rogers.
if I may break out of character for a moment, not as a traditional unionist, but as an actual unionist. The UKIP have actually come out in favour of staying in the EU, so I would like someone to check this before before slandering them. But on the question of what TUV thinks of remaining in the perfidious European Empire, do you have any idea of the cost of remaining in this club?
No.
We haven't even been able to afford a colour picture of Her Majesty to sit in this Senate chamber. And let me tell you,
You've got your own colour book behind you.
the idea of... Thank you. The idea of French commissars or Belgian commissioners or Dutch princes coming over to Northern Ireland and telling us what we should do with our country is frankly shameful.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
I must say that after so many years of conflict, I think it is a great positive change that the Democratic Unionist Party have officially adopted Brits out as party policy. As far as I see it, there is only one union that benefits Ireland, and it is not based in Westminster.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Spratt.
As someone
Mr. Rogers!
As someone who had a slice of French toast for breakfast one day in 1975, I can say that incontrovertibly.
He's just trying to wake Sprat up.
I'm finding my time.
Mr. Rogers. The SDLP is a
Smelling salt.
Mr. Rogers!
an undeniably pro-union party. In fact, one could say that we are the most unionist of all parties at this table. We believe in a firm cooperation with our various partners in the union and respect our sovereign Jean-Claude Juncker. I bloody love the EU. I would, but I can't. Because I am a man. And the EU is the world's best intergovernmental agency. It is a tragic world we live in. I am done.
Thank you, Mr. Spratt. Mr. Mulholland.
That was beautiful. And just on a side note, as an advocate for equal marriage, we can make this happen. Because we should stay married to the EU, people. Would you delete Facebook, an international community? That's not rhetorical, seriously. I'm going to take that as a no. Because we shouldn't delete ourselves from this hub, this community that we can learn and grow from. Being part of the EU gives us the chance to study, travel, work wherever we want within an entire continent. We could retire anywhere we want without having to go through all the paperwork or maybe even get rejected. So think about taking back control, but the control of staying where we are. So vote for and vote against Brexit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all our candidates for their questions and answers so far. I'm going to take one question from the Facebook page before we move on to questions from the audience. This question comes from Mr. Benjamin Murphy. Which of you has the strongest claim to the Iron Throne, e.g. the First Ministership? Mr. Beers.
As someone who does not watch Game of Thrones, but will take every photo opportunity to pose with that throne, I would say that we do. The DUP. That's all I know about Game of Thrones.
Thank you, Mr. Beers. Mr. Neil.
Well, I'm loath to say it, but I have a similar position, I believe, however, that the UKIP should have this throne. But I don't watch this show, although I do know that it brings a lot of revenue through the entertainment industry. But other than that, I'm afraid I don't watch it.
Mr. Gallagher.
It's a completely pointless question. Everyone knows the Iron Throne is not in Stormont. It's not even in Westminster. It is in Brussels. It's a completely pointless question.
I forgot you changed parties. Mr. Finley.
Well, I think if the price of the Iron Throne is a DUP, Sinn Féin, Jamie, Cersei, incestuous loving. Not even many Game of Thrones fans in the audience. Then the only throne I'll be sitting on is the one up the stairs and the first on the right in the house bar, because I really need to go.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
It's quite clear for me that Sinn Féin, as the only true Republican Party, has
Mr. Spratt.
as the only true Republican Party of the last 10 years at least, has to make the only legitimate claim to the Easter Rising and the legacy that it left. Sorry, what did you say?
Never mind.
Iron Throne!
Mr. Spratt.
No, I watch House of Cards.
I was a big fan of Game of Thrones and all of the dragons and hobbits. As a party is really appreciative of the money that has been brought into the Northern Ireland economy and the tourism, because that is one of our key economic standpoints. Such a frivolous and pointless industry as tourism, we want to make one of the tentpole parts of our economy, because that'll never fall down. I have to say. Well, yeah, no, that doesn't quite work now.
Thank you, Mr. Spratt.
like to start off with you've got to vote for me. AOT, Game of Thrones, no.
That's
I'm pro-dragon. If I was to seize the Iron Throne, I would sit on it, I would breathe in, you know, the ambiance. But then I would melt that down. We don't need iron in our community. I would make traffic cones out of that. Game of cones, if you will. I would then rebuild a throne made of willow. And then compost it. Vote green.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Thank you, Mr. Mulholland. Your commitment to the environment is truly inspiring. We will now move on to some questions from the audience. You can either direct it to all of the candidates or to a specific candidate. We'll have just 60 seconds for each of these questions. Okay, so who's first? Mr. Whitehouse.
As a young student in this country, tertiary level education is extremely important. How can the members of the panel guarantee that I can receive an affordable tertiary level education in Northern Ireland?
Mr. Beals.
To summarise what I'm about to say, we can't guarantee that at all because times are tough and cuts must be made. And I'm afraid that third level tertiary education is just not something that the DUP has as a priority right now. There are many more pressing matters, such as combating the threat of paramilitary dissidism, and providing protection for the cultural identity of unionism and all that represents for our province. So, while it may be down the priority list, once the times have subsided, the hard economic times that we've fallen on, maybe then we can address your fancy little notion of third level education. So good luck with that.
Mr. Neil.
In terms of third level education, really the issue is not so much the price rather than the quality, and really we must increase the fees that we currently have in order to ensure that quality. Feet dirty. To ensure that quality, ultimately education is an investment. And the investment that you make should be paid off in the career that you have. Now, the issue is making sure you have a career when you exit that education. And that we will ensure. We will increase business and enterprise through hope, togetherness, and most importantly, Britishness.
Thank you, Mr. Neil. Mr. Gallagher.
Well, personally, I think you can get quality and price. I'll start that again. I think you can get very good quality at a very good price. And the way to do that is to retrieve all the money that we send into Europe, because it is our money, and then we reinvest it in things like education, and then we have better trade with Europe, we have more money coming into the country, and then the whole situation solves itself. And if it doesn't, I've got a big bag of money in my house.
So do I!
It's there just to fill up any of the holes in my mathematics, which I will admit is not good.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. Please control your flailing hands in the future. Mr. Finney.
Well, I would echo every single one of the points made by UKIP, but I will still win because I'm Jim. With regard to tertiary education, I think we can make massive savings by cutting down on Mickey Mouse subjects like art, dance, Irish, reason, and frankly, ever since I narrowly lost out in the early 1970s the presidency of the Students' Union to some socialist yahoo, I have no interest whatsoever in tertiary education. Vote TUV.
Mr. Rogers.
In response to the previous speaker, I know exactly what my mother would say to him, and that is, do up your tie, put on a proper suit, and sing man behind the wire! But there is one, to answer the question of making tertiary education affordable for students, there is one clear way, and that is move to Galway. And the Republic of Ireland, they do not have tuition fees, but voluntary contributions which students who can afford it can make. And if we all move to the south of Ireland, there will be a United Ireland by default. Earn your bra.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Spratt.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Is that your catchphrase tonight?
The SDLP is the party of tertiary education. Despite in our manifesto not knowing the difference between further and higher education, we have a very firm stance that we want to refocus on either the STEM subjects or the STEAM subjects. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure because I changed the page and on one it said STEM and the other it said STEAM. Somehow the arts had inserted self inside there and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was a bit odd. So, really, we believe that students' tuition fee
Wrap it up, please,
should be
Mr.
cut. We should be trying to stop courses from being closed. And don't ask us how we're going to fund it. Because
Thanks,
we're
Mr.
probably
Spratt.
never
Thank
going
you.
to get to touch education again. But it's good to promise big and dream big.
Thank you, Mr. Spratt. Mr. Mohawk.
So, I think it's quite ironic the Green Party is called so because we're very lacking in money. Only 50% of MLAs in the Green Party actually went to third level education. So I think sort of the focus that we sort of put on is enhanced sort of education at a secondary level. Let people know that university isn't the only option. Yes, you can go if you have the money, fair enough. But we'll also cut expenses at Stormont. I'm going to pay for you to go. Vote green and that'll happen.
On that point,
No, thank you, Mr. Neil.
to fund
No, thank you, Mr. Neil. Miss Sinn.
I'm just wondering, very briefly, what are your thoughts on how we should deal with flags, parades, and past?
Mr. Beals.
Flags, or as we affectionately sometimes term them, flags, are a wonderful, wonderful institution in Northern Ireland. They represent the best of our community, the worst of our community, the best of our community, scratch that. And I think that without them, the building blocks that hold society together would simply fall apart. You know, you hear some people, some councillors from some eccentric parties like the workers or people for profit going around their communities and saying things like, oh, a new community centre, oh, a library will help people. No one wants libraries, no one wants community centres. Good, working class, Protestant people want flags to be safe in the knowledge that they are under Her Britannic Majesty's majestic skies. So I think that flags, first of all, are a good priority. The past, well, imprison all outstanding Republicans who have not yet
Wrap it
faced
up, please,
justice.
Mr. Beals.
On the runs are a problem. More flags.
None of the other letters.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Thank you, Mr. Beale. Mr. Neil.
Well, on the topic of flags, parades and the past, I will say this. A vote for the Ulster Unionist Party is a vote for change. A change I think we Unionists can all get behind. Vote to stay exactly where we are and resist the malignant menace of republicanism. And this is very much integral to flags, parades and the past. In terms of the past and the victims, the ones that mattered, of higher rate of violence, we have increased spending and intend to increase spending on mental health. Also on the idea of flags parades, nationalist violence to our parades have been an increasing problem, and this must be sorted out. We are in the United Kingdom, we are in Britain, and there's a culture very much firmly cemented here and isn't going anywhere. And they should have absolutely...
The Lord knows you've tried.
Mr. Rogers.
Quite. We should have every
Wrap it up,
right
please,
to
Mr.
express our cultural heritage. That is my party's position.
Mr. Gallagher.
Well, as far as I see it, I don't know why anyone is getting so upset about this. Because, frankly, what does it matter? A friend of mine in the Daily Mail once said that A flag is a symbol of sovereignty, not an emblem of it. So when they took down our beautiful flag from the City Hall, what does it matter? It might as well have already been down anyway. The only flag that really matters is the blue with the golden stars. Or the German flag.
The story about it.
Mr. Rogers!
No, not that one. But that's all that matters. Irish flag, Ireland doesn't have any sovereignty anymore. Britain doesn't have any sovereignty anymore. What's the difference? We might as well be in the same country, we're just on two different sides of the border.
Too right.
Let's get out of the EU. Let's get out of the EU.
Wrap it up, Mr.
And then we
Gallagher.
will have a flag that is worth keeping.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher.
As for parades, I don't know. I don't know what they are.
Mr. Finley.
Well, after hearing the drivel and vomit and saliva and stuff being issued forth by the parties of rollover unionism and the flag destroying alliance, UKIP. Oh yeah. We are really trying to pretend you don't exist.
I don't think they destroyed it. I think they put it in
Mr. Rogers!
Thank you. Can't put the collier. On flags.
Mr. Rogers!
I had meant to go and get a
Wrap it
union
up, Mr.
flag
Finley.
to bring to this week's debate. I forgot, and that is because of Sinn Féin IRA rewriting our past.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
Well, of course, flags are the most important issue facing Northern Ireland, not jobs, or housing, or even education. Because most people in Northern Ireland are culties. And culties don't need money, they just need a rock to lean against. You know, give them a flag, they'll just think it's their birthday. So long as it is our flag, not their flag. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Spratt.
Flags and parades. I remember when we used to have parades.
I think they were called marches.
Parades. They were really big. Loads of people would come and you'd maybe start gym and that's what about us. Those days are gone now. And now we have a very comprehensive plan for flags, which I won't go into detail here. Instead, I shall refer you to our manifesto, unless I'm sure many of you have read it before and there's no real point in talking, so I'll stop now.
We control education, they can't read.
Mr. Mulholland.
Take down the flags, they said. It'll be a gag, they said. I, for one, say take it down because it's ugly. I think our flag should be replaced. We should get a brand new flag. It should be made of raw, refined hemp. It should have like an overly embellished beetroot on it. Because you know what? That would be hard to beat. Am I right? And on parades, last one I seen, maybe 45 minutes late for the annual conversazione. So get rid of that. Thanks.
That was a bomb scare.
Thank you, Mr. Mulholland. I will take one more question.
Okay, Murray.
Oh. Do you want to ask one or not?
Ask him, okay, Murray.
Okay, hang on. Who wants to ask a question? Go on.
Can I ask a question for the unions members of the panel?
You can.
Yeah. I was just wondering how the unions
Secretary.
members of the panel can reconcile with their opinions of wanting to stay within the UK, but not adopting the big changes in the UK social policies on matters of gay marriage and the long-standing change on abortion and other such matters. How can you reconcile with this?
Mr. Beale?
Well, no one ever said to be a union should do exactly what your paymasters in London ever did. I mean, the point about the Democratic Unionist Party is that we are ulster nationalists. We are not integrationists, soft little big house unions like the other unionists. We do what we want to do. We decide our own morals, we write our own agenda. They give Scotland a lot of powers, and I don't know, they probably give some Wales some more too, I'm not sure. But yes, I mean, if England is being overrun by the hordes of Muslim caliphates and liberals and homosexuals, then that is just a tragedy of England. Thank God the Northern Ireland remains the bastion of pure ethical thought. I forgot my train of thought there. Yes, no, we do what we want, but we're still good unionists, and we will follow the line London when it suits us best.
Thank you, Mr. Beales. Mr. Neil?
Well, we reconcile this quite easily because we don't fight necessarily for Westminster. We fight for you. We fight for Northern Ireland. We believe in the people of Northern Ireland and we believe in our policies. We have such great potential here and we can absolutely invest in it. Now, in terms of the policies and what the people here demand, democracy is a major part of our society. And there's a majority of people here, at least to the feat of concern, issued by the Democratic Unionist Party, that has actually stopped us from coming through. And really, there's a lot of concern needs to be had for this, and it's a very emotive issue. I don't think we should run into these things, given the climate here. I think that's all we have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Neil. Mr. Gallagher.
Oh, look,
You're not really a unionist, but you can speak.
UKIP.
Yeah, UKIP are
Wow.
the unionists.
Wow.
The UK is a title.
Anyway, no, I don't have a problem with
Mr. Rogers.
many of the social changes that have been established in Britain in the recent years being adopted in Northern Ireland. I think it only makes sense. It would bring us closer together. Not everyone in my party believes in gay marriage, but I'm just speaking for myself right now. Because I'm met. And I forgot where I was going. Where was it? What was it?
Mr. Rogers.
What was the original question? Sorry, it was something about. Oh yes, no. The other part of your question about the EU. The EU and have nothing to do with each other. You're thinking about the European Court, completely different, separate body. Don't twist the wires. That's all I'm saying.
Because you don't do that on a regular basis. Mr. Finlay.
Well, unfortunately, it seems the DUP's press officers and spin doctors have all stayed home
Weren't you one once?
this evening. They must have co-opted them all as MLAs. So unfortunately, Mr. Beales is playing to his core electorate, and I disagree with him on absolutely nothing, which is embarrassing for a traditional unionist. Vote TUV.
Thank you, Mr. Finlay. I will allow the other side of the House to respond. Mr. Rogers?
Okay.
Anything to say?
They're nationalists.
Mm-hmm.
They're nationalists.
That's too long.
Go on back to Britain.
Okay, thank you.
We're right here.
Mr. Spratt, do you have anything to say?
The SDLP party has been very opposed to the agenda of the Tory austerity coming out of Westminster at this given time. And anything we can do to oppose the UK government's policies is alright with us, including abortion, because, you know, we're kind of backwards.
Mr. Mulholland? Oh, no, you're not so done. Sorry, Mr. Mulholland.
If you were going any slower, you'd be going backwards.
Mr. Mulholland?
Well, I, for one, stand for equal marriage for all, but I also stand for gay divorce. I too, if I'm in a happy marriage, want to be able to, you know, divorce my partner and collect my alimony money on a weekly basis. Thank you. Was that the question?
We're going to let all of the parties sum up now. I'm going to give you all a minute to sum
As a
up.
Catholic party, we're against gay divorce.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. I'm going to give you all a minute to sum up your main positions and why the electorate in the room should vote for you. Mr. Beales.
Today you all had a choice. You decided the future of Northern Ireland once again in our devolved assembly. The Democratic Unionist Party is committed to keeping the past the good parts of the past where it should be. If we had our way, it would be 60-90 every day. And if someone were to ever ask what the theme tune to the DUP would be, upon reflection, after first concluding the sash, I would have to actually say it would be If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher, because I wish sometimes we really could turn back time and stop the encroachment upon our good values. Arlene Foster is bringing a new era of new democratic unionism which offers exactly the same as it did back in 1980 when it was founded. But I will say now, we will continue to stand up for flags, we will continue to stand up for orange parades,
Wrap it up,
and
please,
we will
Mr.
do
Beals.
absolutely nothing else to basically sort out the country at all. Fuck DUP.
Thank you, Mr. Beals. Can I ask that, as we are going along and as Mr. Beals has started a precedent, that each member of the House gives their theme tune to the party as well?
Don't ask me that.
The Ulster Unionist Party, I believe, in sum total, is committed to you and is committed to progressive policies for the people. And as part of this, we show leadership. And we showed leadership in no better way than when it became apparent that Republican paramilitaries had not fully disarmed. I believe it was August last year. And this prompted our walkout from Stormont. We removed our representatives from Stormont to represent you. Now, of course, we wish to stand in solidarity, as we did for some time, with the DUP voters.
Wrap it up, please, Mr. Neal.
What's your famous song?
Yeah, we need your theme.
Imperial March. Emphasis on the Imperial.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Mr. Gallagher.
Well, not that it matters how you vote on a legislative assembly, considering most of our legislature comes from Brussels anyway, but I repeat myself. Anyway, I would though just remind people, whether you are nationalist or unionist, whether you see yourself as British or Irish, remember, whatever end of the spectrum UKIP occupies over the water in England, do remember, in this context in Northern Ireland, we're actually quite reasonable. If my party were to have a theme tune, I imagine it would be the sprightly march of the British Grenadier. Some speak of Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Finley.
That's March of the Resistance from the new Star Wars soundtrack.
I thought that was BBC News.
Despite what the UUP will tell you, Stormont is working. It's working for the DUP, IRA, INLA, LOL, BRB, LOL JK.
Don't forget PLO.
Lovin.
And Moss. And Labour.
Mr. Rogers.
Join the real resistance. Vote TUV, because remember, if he's behind me, you might as well be voting for him.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. There's been an awful lot of marching so far. Mr. Finley. Thank you, Mr. Finley. Mr. Rogers.
I thought so. Don't chip away my identity. You give me an identity crisis. Let's pick there. Vatal Sinn Féin. August Erlingus. Our dear leader, Jerry Adams, or to give him his affectionate name, Kanye West Belfast, is the only party leader who really understands the plight of the ordinary fuckers out on the streets. As he learned, as he was a young child swinging through the jungles of the Ardoyne and Tanzania. Any claim that he is a racist, or even a member of the Provisional IRA,
Wrap
are
it up,
entirely
please, Mr.
false.
Rogers.
If our party would have a theme tune, it would probably go something like this. There's a skeleton that's hanging in what's known as Father's room. A uniform so simple in its style. You get the gist.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
That's about as well as Jerry Adams did in the actual leaders' debates.
But he didn't speak the language.
Mr. Spratt.
Cancelled.
Thank you, Mr. Roger, for the magnificent rendition of that song.
I kind of called a Ron Levine.
The SDLP is a rapidly changing party. It is a turn to cynicism in this horrible grey world. We are a party which has one foot firmly in the future and another foot quite firmly in the past. And we are being torn apart in some form of medieval torture. But you know that you have to vote for us. Because you haven't the stomach to vote for him.
Wrap it up, Mr. Spratt. Mr. Rogers.
To summarise, our anthem would probably be My Perfect Cousin by the Undertones. Because we are the party of Derry. And we
Thank you,
will
Mr.
win Derry.
Spratt.
And we do not have a chip on our shoulder.
That's London Derry.
No, you have 2 chips.
London.
And finally, Mr. Mulholland.
So, vote for me. You have this chance for a cleaner, healthier, and happier future. And we propose to represent you and your futures as well as your pasts. So, whether you're gay,
Mr. Rogers, please put down that Mr. Simon.
green, whether you're gay, dyslexic, colourblind, or have gout, you're still a person. And we provide for your future. The theme song of the Green Party would be Work B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Because whether you may want a hot body, you may already have one, but you're going to have one due to global warming. Okay. So vote green.
Okay, thank you very much to all our speakers this evening for what has been an interesting debate. The vote this evening will go on speaker performance rather than personal preference, because I don't want to know. So, how are we going to do this?
SDLP on this.
Just no. We will be here all night. Okay, so we'll start with the DUP. Does anyone want to vote for DUP?
Nah.
If only.
UUP?
I'd expect nothing different from the scum of Sinn Féin.
UKIP/Alliance?
That's two.
That was two, right. TUV? 4? 5?
We only need one.
Westwards.
Sinn Féin?
No, it's not your TV.
2?
You want to go home tonight as well?
Mr. Rogers? SDLP?
Oh yeah.
Just said 19.
Got that?
Soak it up.
Just like the convention.
14. And green.
None has not got it.
I'm sure Brittany is also voting wherever she is.
Yeah, we'll have Brittany.
She tweeted me. Yeah, I'm
The chair doesn't get a vote.
The chair doesn't, but the person sitting in it does.
Okay, so the very clear winner this evening is, God help us, the SDLP. Thank you everyone for coming. We're going to head to the house bar now for some drinks. snacks.
Next week's debate is this House believes raising children's religion is child abuse. So if you want to come 7 o'clock next week in here.
Chaps will stay here. I want to take a picture of for Instagram and make a point about like women in school.
Followers.
I shouldn't really be photographed next to shit.
Okay, everybody look at camera, please.
Cheese.